Blake Shelton's decision to relocate to Nashville at the tender age of 17 in pursuit of a career in country music is probably no secret to you, but have you ever wondered who encouraged him to do it? Shelton shared the fascinating tale of his meeting with singer-songwriter Mae Axton during his appearance on Q with Tom Power. He clung to her because she was the reason he committed. Born and raised in Ada, Oklahoma, Axton was one of 3 songwriters who contributed to Elvis Presley's groundbreaking single Heartbreak Hotel. At one point, they brought her back to Ada to honor her with some award they were going to give her, and I got to meet her, recounts Shelton. I was part of the entertainment for the award that night. At the age of 16, he was engaged to perform at that event. Highlighted ads. Meeting Axton after his performance was an unforgettable experience. He recalled that, she was just being sweet, she's like, you gotta move to Nashville. At this point, I think she was like 80 years old. She would have been very near, perhaps about 77 or 78 according to our calculations. As far as young Shelton was concerned, this was a woman's very insightful observation. Men, hearing somebody who was somebody telling me I need to move to Nashville, that's all it took, he recalls. Next, something occurred. 2 weeks after I graduated high school, I was still 17 years old. I moved to Nashville and I had her phone number and I called her and I said, Mae, I'm in Nashville now and I'm the guy you met in Ada and you said I should move here. And I said, what should I do now? Axton was of great assistance to him, directing him towards the correct path. To start, she hired him, not for music, but for home painting. She said, well, you're gonna need a job and I need somebody to paint my house, Shelton explains. So my first 2 weeks in Nashville she hired me to come over. I didn't know anything about painting either. I probably did more damage than anything. Hoyt Axton, who is a singer-songwriter and the son of Mae, was able to meet the Texas singer. Within a day or two he and I had become buddies, and one day he invited me. He was sleeping in his tour bus in his driveway, and one day he invited me on his bus, he recalls. He was just telling me stories and he said, listen to this song, and he started tapping on the table and he sang me Ole Red. Shelton, a young and naive man, said of Hoyt's kindness to him. I was not yet 18 years old and I had already heard at that point what would go on to be arguably the most important song I've ever recorded. Ole Red was covered by Shelton in 2002. Before then, in 1990, George Jones had released the song and in 1993, Kenny Rogers had recorded it. Out of the 3, Shelton's rendition has the greatest followers. On the Billboard Country Airplay chart, Shelton boasts an incredible 30 #1 singles. This figure is sure to go up as long as he keeps putting out music. This ranking of the best Blake Shelton songs is based on the consensus of the Taste of Country crew as well as the chart performance of individual songs from Shelton's 12 studio albums. Above all else, we used sales and direct feedback from fans to gauge their opinion. Does the song you love most by Blake Shelton align with our number 1? If yes, which one? The 50 greatest songs of the Coach from The Voice are listed here. This ranking took into account not only production but also lyrical integrity. Although we may appreciate a discussion on ranking, it is difficult to disagree with any of the top 5. We actually promote it. In 2016, Blake Shelton released a song with excellent country lyrics written by Wyatt Earp, Mark Beeson, and Andy Albert. Nevertheless, the issue was that the lyrics felt too personal. It was this song that ended Shelton's remarkable run of #1 songs. Musically, there isn't much that distinguishes songs from this period. The 2014 love story Gonna isn't terrible per se. In fact, it's arguable that it's superior to a few of the songs that came before it on this list of Blake Shelton's best 50 songs. Nevertheless, it fails to leave any kind of impression. Imagine this, you might have said, I remember that song, but more likely you were asking, which one is that? In a novel way, the wave represents how a good love may drown out all your problems. Fans also adore Blake Shelton's performance from Texoma Shore. His voice sounds great on the somewhat fast song. Songs like When the Wine Wears Off, which was on Texoma Shore's album but might have been a single, were co-written by Redekins. The arrangement and progression of the song are extremely similar to Blake Shelton's other popular songs from this period. Fans of Blake Shelton's music gave the vote to Anyone Else, a song from his album Bringing Back the Sunshine, as their favorite deep cut. Among the singer's 50 tracks, this ballad stands out for its unusual bitterness. His lyrics are really hurtful, even though the composition isn't particularly obnoxious. As the fourth consecutive #1 hit from his Red River Blue album, Blake Shelton delivers an excellent vocal performance on Over, which is otherwise a rather average tune. In order to give this song his own unique sound, Shelton used a sitar. He was only able to acquire a top 10 single from it. I Hold On continues with a more traditional arrangement, turning the outsider instrument into a mere marketing device. Since Shelton co-wrote the song with his hero, Earl Thomas Conley, All Over Me will always have a unique meaning for him. Showcasing a shy falsetto during the chorus of this moving, authentic country song, the vocalist does something really distinctive on this piano-led ballad. Its lyrics are hard to follow, but its music is daring, just like all of his early singles. When compared to his earlier and more current singles and deep cuts, Shelton's album after his divorce doesn't have many good tracks. Despite the vocal hook, the rendition of Every Time I Hear That Song isn't that exciting. This didn't stop it from easily reaching #1. Although Shelton's album, based on a true story, began with the single Sure Be Cool If You Did, each subsequent single is significantly more impressive and captivating. Although the orchestration is mild, this love ballad isn't cold. This single from Shelton's Red River Blue album features Rodney Clawson, Jesse Alexander, and John Randall, who are real-life couples. With so many other energetic performances and arrangements on this compilation of his 50 finest songs, Drink on It feels a bit out of place, even though it is still a #1 hit. Blake Shelton's portrayal as a future husband on I'll Name the Dogs is a reflection of the dreams of his legion of followers and the rest of the globe. The pop-rock chorus and endearing lyrical hook propelled the 2017 #1 single to platinum, the second of 2 consecutive singles featuring Gwen Stefani. Happy Anywhere reached #1 and is an amazing earworm. It's tough to find fault with the upbeat tune, but the country duo's duet on Nobody But You is better. Hit single Neon Light from 2014 successfully fuses funk, country, and hip-hop in a vacuum. But throughout Blake Shelton's whole discography, it aims to do far too many things that the vocalist excels at in other contexts. That is why it isn't quite as high on our ranking of Shelton's finest songs. Though Aaron Lewis's rendition of the song was more compelling, Granddaddy's Gun by Blake Shelton wasn't attempting to seem rugged. The interpretation of the singer with greater sensitivity was more refined and sensitive. Each man was aiming for a different country's audience.